Really excited for this year and for this first AMA. So this is our development AMA, first one of the month. And we're going to get started here in just a second. Fox is going to address a couple things right here at the beginning. We're going to go into answering some of the questions we received in writing previously. And then at the end of the AMA, we're going to invite people up on stage to ask live questions and then kind of wrap up after that. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Fox if you're ready, and we can get going.
Okay, can you hear me okay? Looks like probably can.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. I didn't want to launch into a whole spiel and not have anyone here. So first of all, just let me say, this is our first AMA of the year. Welcome, everybody. Super excited about just all the amazing things we have planned this year. Like you look at last year and how far we came in about 4.5 months-ish. And it's really just amazing to see that kind of progress and growth of our community and the team and just all the metrics basically. And that was in 4 months. And we have an entire year ahead of us with a fully staffed, amazing team. And I'm just super stoked to just imagine just all of the awesome things that are coming up this year for us. So we hit a lot of really cool milestones just in the past few days. I think January 1st, we hit 50,000 members in our community over here on Discord. And that's just mind blowing. There's like so many people that are in here. And usually when you get something that big, it starts to become kind of hectic and crazy. And there's all kinds of like characters causing issues or whatever it is. But I'm just really blown away by how supportive our community is of all of the new people and how understanding and patient and welcoming they are. And it just really is what sets this project in particular apart from any other project I can think of in the entire space of crypto. There isn't any like toxicity or anything like that. Everyone's friendly and kind. And I just really love that. So awesome updates there on the community front. We also hit some really cool milestones in terms of our Jewel token. We surpassed $1 billion market cap for the first time. And that is just mind-blowing. We're now almost a top 100 coin out of all the crypto coins in the entire space of crypto. We have a lot of room left to grow because we are basically a quarter of the way through our projected roadmap for this year. And there's so many really, really big things. We've got expansions, we've got land, we've got PvP, PvE. Even just this week, we're planning on releasing mining, which is a huge, huge step in the play to earn aspect of this that has been pretty much from the very start. That was the entire reason that I wanted to have heroes, was for the ability to unlock those jewels early. And so here we are finally about to launch that. I'm super excited about that. Other milestones, we added some people to the team. Seems like we're always adding a few people to the team, just because as we get larger and larger, we want to maintain that pace we have set and make sure that we're able to just really accelerate that growth across the board. Let's see, there was something else I was going to talk about. I should probably take notes sometimes. But no, yeah, as I said, this is the first AMA of the year, and we are having these every week for those that are new. We try to maintain like really good communication from our team with the community because really this is a project in the crypto space, which means all of you are also owners of this project. So it's very important to have that communication and make sure that we're all on the same page and that we're all stepping forth into this new year as one. But yeah, with that in mind, let's head over to some of these questions over there, Zeno.
All right, sounds great. So one of the first big ones is there's been a lot of challenges with the tavern and heroes and things like that. If you wanted to kind of go over that, Fox.
Yep, I got that. The Tavern has been high on our priority list for a long time now. We've been making all kinds of efforts in that. About a month ago, or actually, I guess 3 weeks ago, we hired a API guy to basically overhaul our API because we could see the signs that we were kind of reaching the limit of what was possible with our existing API technology. And to explain that a little bit, our existing API stack basically uses the graph. And I'm not sure how many of you have heard of that, but it's this really cool technology that allows you to index events on the blockchain. And it's used by almost every DEX out there and all kinds of other projects also. But while it is really cool, it also was built for Ethereum. And Ethereum network has like, I think 30 transactions per second or 15. And it's generally very simple transactions. What we have seen with our project, with the amount of growth and the amount of usage that we have, is there are so many more transactions, orders of magnitude higher transactions that are being pushed through. And so it's hard for our nodes to actually keep up when they're having to process so many. So we currently have it so that basically we have a few nodes that are like running on max specs that are trying to like index these nodes. And as one of them gets fully synced, we switch it over to that node. And then as soon as it receives that extra load, it starts to fall behind. And so then we start the other one syncing. And then once it's synced, we switch it. And we're kind of doing a poor man's round robin right now. And we have an actual real solution with an actual round robin in the works that will hopefully launch tonight. But it's still kind of a stopgap because of that underlying technology. So what we've done with that other person that we hired was we had him basically completely redo our architecture so that it's not using anything from like the graph technology, but instead it's using like NoSQL and his own custom event indexer that he created. And it's looking really promising. It can scale horizontally, basically unlimited. And so we should be able to handle any amount of traffic once that is out. We're in the alpha stages currently with that. Hopefully in the next day or two, we could push that to beta. And then if it's able to pass that, we could get that into production. And that should make everything a lot more scalable and kind of put those issues to bed. It also allows us, and actually this is one of the major reasons that we did this, was it allows us to do cross-chain event indexing, which is very important, and it's not possible with our old stack. So that will be very important once we start to expand into these other realms as well. So with that in mind, we are very concerned with it, spending a lot of time working on it, and we're getting really close to a good solution for that.
All right, exciting. I know that's been on everybody's mind, so thank you for that, Fox. Our next question comes from Philip Verson. I could have butchered that name. Are there any plans to add a tagging system to heroes so we can protect, favorite, etc. the heroes we want to use for specific things, or that we don't want to sell on accident? Beetle, you want to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Yeah. Okay. I also don't want to talk.
Yep.
If no one can hear me. Okay,
I can
perfect.
hear you.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear. All right. Well, hi everybody. Good to be back. And yeah, this is a great question. We do actually have a task on the board to be working on a tagging system for heroes. Up to this point, we've kind of been a little bit limited because we've been trying to keep most every transaction, everything on the blockchain. So we haven't kind of expanded into our own database structure as of yet. But now with kind of the new developer that Fox was talking about previously, who's working on our APIs, we should hopefully be able to kind of have our own internal databases that we can maintain. And this would be, I think, a great addition to that piece, kind of getting a way to associate a wallet with their tagged heroes, being able to kind of tag them however people want to. As you mentioned, I think favorites is probably kind of a big one. favorites, and then there might be your favorite gardener, your favorite miner that you want to kind of keep at top of list. So I think that's definitely something that we have in mind, and that hopefully once we get the new tavern released, we can start working towards as well. These kind of side quests, we'll call them, of API driven data management. So definitely on the roadmap. It will, we'll definitely be working towards that as soon as we can. All these kinds of quality of life improvements, I would call them, that we can add on top of what we already have. Yeah.
Awesome.
Good question.
And I got another question. I think this one will be good for Beetle as well. And this was asked by multiple people. Are there any plans to allow your heroes or your avatar to move throughout the world with manual controls like WASD, etc.?
Cool. Yeah, I think I actually talked a little bit about this one at the last AMA that I attended. So that is definitely on the roadmap as well. I feel like I keep saying that, but we've got a lot on our roadmap. So that one is definitely there. We've done a little bit of testing with it and work with it, so we know that it's a possibility. We're just kind of working out the kinks, and part of it is getting heroes into a spot where we can kind of pull them in and use them wherever we need to. That's kind of the biggest thing. There's a big effort going on right now to be able to do that. And then I think just in general, I would say that we're trying to work towards gamifying more and more things. We have some tasks now on the board to be able to. I think another kind of game specific thing that we'd like to have is full keyboard control. Being able to kind of get in the game, control it, and use it more like you would a traditional game, with menu support and all the kinds of things that you would expect. And then down the line, we have eyes on doing even like game controller support. We can use the Gamepad API that browsers have built into them, kind of do similar things as well, and make it feel more like a game. Make it so you can kind of pop it up and use it like you would expect. So yeah, definitely on the roadmap, and something that we are working towards making it feel more and more like a game as much as we can.
Awesome. Thanks for elaborating on that. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that internally we were working on being able to use like a gamepad and stuff like that. So that's even more exciting because I'm a console player myself, so keyboard and mouse, not good for me.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too, because like FF6 and some of those other RPGs will have some like internal dungeons and things. I think is in the roadmap as well, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we do have a few, Beetle is one of them, a few Unity devs, and we've also discussed kind of possibly utilizing Unity to have a better game experience, but that's kind of still being talked about and in the works. But we want to make it feel as much like a game as we can until it pretty much is a game. I mean, it already is a game, but there's a lot of possibility. I'm excited about it.
Same.
All right. This next question comes from Ragna. Are there any plans to, or what does the dev team think about like a rankings page, maybe inside the town crier, showing the best fishers, foragers, like by profession score, or different stats to track like the top heroes or the best heroes in different ways? You want to take that one, Raspberry?
Yeah, so I actually haven't heard this piece of feedback before, and honestly, I really like this idea of a rankings page. I think that'd be really cool. So I have to say I love it, and I think it would actually be really well used inside of the castle once we release that map. So we will consider it and talk more with Sinstar about that. Maybe flesh something out that could work for the game. So appreciate that feedback. I think that's awesome.
I have some thoughts about that too. I mean, this was high on my list from the start in terms of like achievements, because I think when we have achievements, it's easier to rank people. But yeah, I would really be excited about seeing some of those rankings. And I think it's not very hard to do with some of the things that we're architecting. So for sure, keep your eyes out on that. That'll be something I'm going to be pushing.
Fox likes to be number one. That's why.
Also, just real quick, I have a technician coming to my house here in a second to fix my heater. So I got to let him in, but I'll be right back. I'm freezing over here. So I did just want to answer real quick. I saw a question about the airdrops. Oh, there's my dog. And I'll answer that here in a second. Turn back.
Okay. We'll go ahead and move on to this question by Christopher at Simple Crypto Q1. Sorry, my lines are broken up here. Any plans to add implementing a time until next stamina tick, or next to the time until stamina is full counter when you hover over the stamina bar? Vito, you want to take that one? I don't know if I was clear enough the question.
Yeah, I was able to get what you're saying. Cool. So it's an interesting question. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. There's really, I mean, we can really kind of take the information that we get and report it back to you whatever way we think is best. I think a recent thought that we've had was kind of to show, maybe instead of showing how long until the stamina is full, we show you the time at which the stamina will be full. Might be an improvement there. But even time until next stamina tick, I think would be valuable as well. So I think we could think about expanding that. So I guess a short answer would be it's not on the roadmap yet, but I think it's a great idea that we can think about folding in and adding in there as well. I think the more we can make it make it so you don't have to think about things like that, I think the better it will be. Because I know I feel like I could benefit from that as well. That's where I get most of my ideas from is when I'm playing the game. So good thought. I think it's something we can think about and get back to you.
All right. I got this question passed over to me from Bolon. Are we looking at total liquidity provided for our liquidity pools and the pangolin pool, or just the jewel portion? And we are looking at just the jewel portion for the total liquidity provided. This one came from an anonymous community member. Any plans for a reward history? You want to take that one, Swerve?
Yeah, so we already have some tasks in the pipeline to display quest reward history. That's been in the plan for a while now. So we're just trying to get these other issues fixed first, but that is coming.
All right, great. So I did have a couple of remarks that Fox wanted to address. I'm not sure if he's quite back yet. Another question we got is that we announced last week or spoke about last week was, when is the Hero Crystal recharge fee going away? And soon is the best answer we can give for that right now. As soon as possible. So that is something that I'm not on the development team myself, but I have heard people saying, we're aiming for this week, maybe Wednesday-ish, sooner if possible. But that is a high priority for us.
Yeah, he's been working, like the Solidity devs have been working really hard on that one. There's quite a few other things they have to do alongside it. They can't just do that all at once. So he's not exactly sure exactly when that one will launch, but he's hopeful with this week. But I can't say for sure. Just keep that in mind.
Great. So with that, and until Fox gets back to address these couple things he wanted to mention, I'm going to start inviting some of you folks on stage to ask Beetle Dude and Raspberry some questions. So I'm going to invite Full Metal Alchemist. Let's bring you up first. And then just to fill in some of this dead space in between people getting on stage, I'm going to invite people a little bit ahead of time as well. All right, Full Meta.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate all you guys have been doing, and congrats all the way around on the success DFK has been having. I mean, it's just awesome to get over $1 billion market cap. I was curious about some of the recent congestion issues. Obviously, there's been an influx of a lot of players coming in with more and more excitement around DeFi Kingdoms. Is that something that you guys are actively working on from the DeFi Kingdom side? Is it more from the Harmony side? I'd be curious to hear more about what you guys are doing to maybe quell some of that, and especially with more people coming in the future. Thank you.
I can try to field that as much as I can from kind of a front end development perspective, and kind of the API as well. But I mean, I think bringing in this new developer to work on our APIs internally is going to free up a lot of that congestion that we've got. We're pulling quite a bit from the core right now, from straight off the contract, that I think we can instead, index on our APIs and then pull from our APIs instead. That's going to really free up a lot more bandwidth, and hopefully even, I know we don't really have control over the RPC and things like that, the issues that come from that. But limiting our transactions and our reads off of that might help with that congestion issue. So we're definitely doing as much as we can on our end to mitigate that, and hopefully as soon as we can get these Tavern issues fixed, that we can move forward and continue those optimizations. And then on the front end as well, we're looking at performance. We know that that on mobile it can drag a little bit, so we're looking at ways we can minimize the bundle size and kind of optimize on that side of things as well. So just in general, we are definitely working on that, and that's a great question.
Great, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Useful meta.
I guess it's my turn to go next. I don't want to jump the gun.
Yeah.
But I had 3 questions. I hope they can get all answered. I feel like they're pretty applicable to everybody listening. My first was how many in total Gen 0 Crystalvale heroes will there be? And then if you don't win them in like the airdrop or the giveaway and things like that, how will we be able to acquire them? Considering a lot of us are more new, we may not know how the original Gen Zeros came about. The second question, I don't know if you want to take them one at a time or if you want me to just ask all 3 and then I could get out and you could answer
We could do one at a time, might be better.
Okay.
Yeah, because the expansions are kind of each expansion that we're doing will add basically an extra 25% to the gene pool for heroes, and that's one of the major drivers of the Gen 0 heroes, is to basically be the genetic parents of all of the other heroes that are created. So we are planning on, Harmony had 8 classes. Each expansion will have 2 classes. Harmony had 2,000 heroes that were sold, with an additional 50 that were airdropped. Actually, there were 51 that were airdropped, and another 50 that are kind of like reserved for promotional reasons, of which we've done like maybe 30 to 40 of those, I think. So Harmony is mostly used up at this point. For Crystalvale and for other expansions in the future, we're looking at 500 heroes for the sale, and probably another like 25 to 30 or 40 for like airdrops and raffles and promotional things as well.
Got you. Okay, thank you. Second question was, I know with mining coming out tomorrow, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are excited to start unlocking some of that locked jewel. I just don't know if there was mentioned, is there going to be a hard cap on how much locked jewel you can unlock per day? Because I feel like I know you guys are really good at like balancing things so they're not like overpowered or too nerfed into the ground that it's kind of useless. So I don't know if you guys have a hard number yet, but if you do, I'm sure a bunch of people would love to hear that.
Yeah, so we actually have been like running simulations and things, trying to figure out what that number is. I can say that it's not crazy high in terms of how many lot jewels you need to be able to reach the maximum. So you could have like I think 20 or 30,000 lot jewels and sort of be already hitting the maximum of this level 0 quest. And as you are able to upgrade your heroes, you can increase the amount you earn from this quest and things like that. So yeah, we have been very careful with that. We've spent many hours pulling all of our historical data and having all kinds of like simulations get ran for that. I think that people might be pleasantly surprised about how rewarding the quest actually is. So just we'll stay tuned for that and see how it goes on Wednesday.
No, nice. I definitely appreciate that. Again, like I said, you don't want it to be like too overpowered and break the economy. So that's awesome. And then my third question, and then I'll hop off, was more of a long-term question. What are you guys' plans for like a mass adoption? Obviously, like the more users, the more successful, the more people that are in it, the more parts are moving, and ultimately it just leads to a better experience for everybody. So we're all pretty aware of not only like the tavern issues, not so much worried about that, but more so like the cost, with Jewel absolutely ripping over the last week. We know that the cheapest heroes in the game are in USD value anywhere from like 500 to $600-700 at some point. We know that for, let's just say, maybe some people or like the average person, it may not be very attainable for them to just drop $700. If you're buying a high profession score hero, now we're talking an ETH, $4,000 or $5,000. So what are the team's plans for making the game either more affordable or making it playable for people without heroes or without having to dump a bunch of money into LP in order to earn money back? Just making like the game overall more appealing to people who may have less money to initially start with.
Yeah, are you a professional AMA question asker? Because these are amazing questions.
No, I'm not, but
I
I'm very
agree.
invested. I'm very, very, very invested. So, that's why obviously I care maybe more than the average person.
Yeah, no,
But they're
these are
really
great
good.
questions. And
Thank you.
all those things are for sure things that we think about often, like it is a play to earn game, and the amount you can earn will always be in some way related to how much you put into it as well, as any investment is. However, we do have plans and I guess like solid plans of actions to expand this to all kinds of other players, so that any price point can find sort of like an entry in here and still have some fun and have the ability to earn from it as well. We're currently working on a similar scholarship type program that other play to earn games have like had, where having like players who have assets but haven't got time could maybe create a guild or have like the heroes get sort of like lent out or like rent out to other players that have extra time but haven't really got as many assets. And so there's stuff we're doing on that front that are really excited, especially with Dreamer sort of like leading the charge there with some of the like really big guilds out there. So yeah, I would say that we are very concerned with that. We do want to get as many players into this game as we can at all price points.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I'm going to go back to the audience now. Love the game. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi,
Thanks, Pedro.
Pedro.
So before I open up the mic to the next person, there was this question we wanted to ask Fox. Are there qualifying snapshots for any of the airdrops, or can I add at any time?
Yeah, so we are currently doing, I think, 5 or 6 or 7 snapshots, or not airdrops that we've announced as of a couple days ago, all at once, which we haven't ever done this many all at once. Really exciting. But yeah, there are some rules and some little caveats there that I guess we will have to sort of like flesh out more. But as far as qualifying snapshots, with our past ones, we've sort of said you have to have X amount in by a certain date to be able to even be included in the averages. And actually with this one, we're trying it with sort of a different tack where it'll be any time that you want to get in, you can, but it'll still be averaged out over the entire period. So basically, it's not too late. You can still hop in. And if if you hold it in there for even longer, you can up those numbers. But if you only have it in there for a day and then pull it back out, you probably won't even make that cutoff because of the averaging that we do over that time. So the whole intent is to have it in there and hold it in there for the entire time, and that's how you can just like really take advantage of that. But yeah, that's how that will work.
Great. And then somebody asked if there were any minimums for the crystal airdrops. We'll only be airdropping amounts greater than 0.01 crystal, no dust. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that, Fox.
Yeah, so it's expensive to send airdrops because of like the fees and things. So if it costs more to send it than you would get in receiving it, it's just not worth it. So we will be capping the amount that we'll, or not capping, but sort of like having a floor of the amount that we'll send to be 0.01 crystals. And if you earned less than that, then it'll just be dust. You won't actually get that. So it has to at least be above that minimum threshold there.
Oh, I was muted. Mats or Matez, go ahead and ask
Welcome
your
back,
question.
Zeno.
Yes, all right. Okay, thank you guys. First off, I really want to thank you guys for being so transparent during these AMAs. It's really great to see. I have two questions pertaining to the Crystal Veil expansion. The first one was something that Bolan already asked on, but I wanted to elaborate a little bit on. If I understood correctly, you mentioned now that for the Pangolin the LPs, so the Avalanche Jewel LP there, that there's almost no true incentive to bridge over your jewel and then go into that pool, as that would mean that you would receive only half of the crystal rewards as compared to whether you would just kept that amount in jewel in your Avalanche wallet. Is that correct?
Yeah, so yeah, there's a few reasons why we did it that way. One of them is there just isn't as much liquidity over there as there is here. And if we basically had it as like the same level, then that would be kind of encouraging our players to pull their liquidity from here and move it over, which isn't the intent. It's more about basically just like rewarding those that are sort of like maintaining our jewel holdings outside of our chain with like arbitrage opportunities and things like that, and just sort of an extra nod to anyone who wants to qualify for these snapshots for Crystal, and yet they don't really like want to be bothered with having to bridge things over to Harmony and have all that happen. Still having the option for them to qualify for that from holding those jewels on those other ecosystems.
Oh, awesome. That sounds really reasonable. Thank you for explaining. The second question is pertaining to whether you can already lift the veil on how summoning and summoning costs will work in Crystal Veil. Specifically for the crystal tokens, you've done everything like 1/4 of the jewel tokens, the supply, the amount of Gen Zeros, the amount of classes, and you've explained all that. But will the summoning cost of summoning in Crystal Veil also be like 1/4 of the summoning costs in jewel, as in 15 crystal to summon, whereas it's 16 jewel to summon? Or how will those things work?
Yeah, no, excellent question. So the supply will be quartered, but the prices of things will actually be the same. The like reasoning for that is essentially like we've got all these expansions where we're bringing in so many new players, and it would increase the price action, I guess, on like jewels and all those other ones by a significant amount. That's why we have to basically add some extra power tokens for that. But as far as the cost, we're actually keeping those the same to try to ensure, I guess, parity of price across all of our ecosystems, so that there's no clear area where over on this ecosystem it's like half the price to summon as it is here. And if there is, then you'll see arbitrage opportunities there where you have some people head over there to summon heroes, and then they can bridge those.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll hop off and
Yep.
sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I think my headphones cut out. But yeah, it just creates this ecosystem where players will be able to have arbitrage from all of our chains and have it stay in balance, basically.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for clearing up. I'll hop off and let the next person ask these questions.
Okay, guys, we're running a little short on time, so I'm going to open up the mic to Ezequiel. and then we'll pass it on to these guys for any final comments.
Hey guys, how are you?
Fantastic.
Hey.
Cool. I have just a really quick question. It's about the music contest. I wanted to ask if there was a limit per entries. Can I just submit one, or I can submit whatever amount I want to?
So do we have Bolon in the audience who can hop up here on stage and answer that?
Maybe even Risen.
Either one of those guys.
Or Isla.
I would like to say, oh, there's Risen.
Hey, do as many as you want. It's more things for Pogo to look at and Renaissance Man to listen to and judge, and we're just excited for all the entries.
Awesome. Because I want to do like a tango and then like a hard rock or something.
So excited. Bring them on.
Awesome, guys. Congratulations. It's amazing what you've accomplished. I would love for you to consider putting some more weight into the people like me, which now feel a bit stupid because from the beginning, I put all my jewel into LP, and I got a really nice amount of LP, but I got out. I mean, I had to watch most of the raffles and contests and stuff, and snapshots felt a bit left behind because I didn't have X Jewel. I only had my LP. So that's about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's our intent with these ones is that, up until now we've had all of our airdrops and stuff be through X Jewels, and it'll still always stay the primary way to qualify for those. But we are starting to look at other ways to like reward our actual players for like hero metrics. In the future, we'll have things that are special for like landowners, and we'll have stuff where like heroes over a certain level will get things, etc. So there's all kinds of exciting things we have in the pipeline there for that as well to expand on those.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. So we're out of time. I'm going to open up the mic to Raspberry Beetle and Fox for any closing comments, and then we're going to let everybody get out of here. Guys, if you have anything you'd like to add.
I know Fox probably will have something to say because, yeah, place does. But I just want to say LFG.
Stoked to be on the team. That's it. Yeah, take it away, Fox.
Go ahead, Beetle. Oh, well, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Beetle. But yeah, no, it's as I said at the start, it's very exciting at the start of this new year, sort of like a fresh new year with so much opportunities and untapped potential. Our team is very, very, very well positioned to just really take this year by storm. Like we have such skilled people on our team, and they have the experience from the last 4 months at their back, and we're at like the current pace we're at, we're just kind of like putting the pedal down. Just there isn't anything holding us back at this point. So really excited to see what's coming. We have an awesome team, awesome devs. Raspberry, Beetle Dude, and so many others on our team are just really killing it. So just want to say thank you to all of them on our team for all their hard work on the past year, and that they're currently doing for this upcoming year. And then also a huge appreciation and thank you to our awesome community for everything that all of you guys do. I always like look through and see all the memes and all that stuff, and it's just really amazing to see. So super excited for the year. Just want to say thanks everyone for coming, and LFG also.
Yeah, thanks, Fox. Memes, please, more memes.
That's what I was gonna say. Seconded.
All right. See you guys later. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.